Hi guys, Robbo46 here. Welcome yourselves back to MotoGP 21 on the Xbox Series X. Now, the news that we kind of knew was going to broke yesterday that Maverick Vinales and Yamaha will be parting ways at the end of the 2021 season. We know that Vinales has not been happy with Yamaha for a little while, and the rumor broke Sunday morning. Basically, the rumour was that Vinales was going to break his contract, his 2-year contract. He was contracted from, through 2022 season as well with Yamaha, that he wasn't going to continue with them, that he's going to break his contract, and that he was going to move to Aprilia. Obviously, they've done some interviews with both Vinales and Yamaha over the weekend. The Yamaha bosses didn't deny that was happening, but they did say that Vinales would continue to race for them for the rest of this season. And Vinales as well said that he was going to continue with Yamaha this season, but he's just looking forward to having the summer break first. But yeah, it's official now that Yamaha and Vinales, on a mutual agreement, are going to be parting ways at the end of 2021. So, it's looking like Vinales is likely going to be going to Aprilia. Aprilia are interested. They've said they're interested if Vinales is available. One of Vinales' ex-managers when he was in 125's works at Aprilia. So there is that kind of connection there. And yeah, so Vinales hasn't been happy with Yamaha because he's basically saying Yamaha aren't really listening to what he's saying. He tells them what the problem is, but then nothing ever gets done about that problem, and it seems to be the same problem at most tracks. Although, Quartararo can seem to ride around that problem. And I mean, Vinales himself had a good race at Assen with a second place. Obviously, he was dead last at Sachsenring. During the race, he purposely dropped to the back at Sachsenring because he wanted to show Yamaha how difficult it was for him to overtake someone like a Ducati. But when he was by himself, he could do the lap times no problem, and that's exactly what he done. Obviously, Yamaha weren't happy with that, and that's kind of where it started to really kind of strain the relationship between Vinales and Yamaha. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be weird because Vinales is going from a bike which is not only leading the championship, but it's obviously a proven race winner this season as well. Vinales himself won back in Qatar, so it works. But yeah, so he's going to go from a bike and team which is capable of winning the title and winning races to a bike and a team that have never been inside the top 5. They have obviously never been on the podium. They've led part of a race a few years ago with Andrea Iannone at Phillip Island. Qualifying wise, Alicia Spargaro is pretty good. He's been having some good races as well, to be fair. Maybe Vinales is that last little puzzle piece that Aprilia need to be, fighting for podiums. Maybe it's not. We know that in the past Aprilia haven't really listened to riders very much. Whether they will listen to a multiple race winner, hopefully they will. But yeah, it's just a bit weird that, like I said, he's gone from a team and a bike that is capable of winning the championship to a team which hasn't even been on the podium or inside the top 5. So it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit, the grass isn't always greener. But maybe it's the change that Vinales needs, because we've seen him change his number a few years ago and other things because he wants to try and, be at the top of everything, try and win the championship. Obviously, he's had a rider coach. He's been to a sports therapist for mental health, and it's still hasn't seemed to work. So it's bizarre, but that is what is happening. Now, obviously, that leaves a vacant seat at the factory Yamaha team. And with it looking very likely that Rossi will not be staying with Petronas Yamaha for next season, there's going to be potentially 2 Yamahas available. Now, the smart move would be to move Morbidelli from Petronas over to the factory team. However, we also know that Morbidelli isn't happy with Yamaha because he's on a 2-year-old bike and he's just not getting, anywhere in terms of development with that bike because it's 2 years old. So he's frustrated. Is he going to be one of the other riders that rides for Rossi's team next season? Or is Rossi going to step in and race for his own team? I mean, in interviews, he's sounding doubtful that he's going to be racing next season. But you never know. But yeah, maybe he will get Morbidelli to race for his team because they are going to be on factory Ducatis. So if they lose Morbidelli as well, they are going to potentially be looking for 3 riders. Yeah, it's just a bit strange at the moment. But yeah, smart money would be to move Morbidelli into the factory team. And obviously that would create two bikes available for Petronas. There's, a lot of riders out there that deserve the ride. Garrett Gerloff at the weekend done a fantastic job considering, he's never raced in MotoGP before. Yeah, he done a session or 2 last season, but in the wet. And he didn't finish last in the race on Sunday at Assen. He beat Luca Marini, which was his goal, not to finish last, and he achieved that. So obviously Dorna want an American in MotoGP. They did speak to John Hopkins at the weekend, and they've obviously got 3 people they could choose from between Gerloff, Joe Roberts, and Cameron Beaubier. Also, Dorna want a British rider in MotoGP as well. So, Jake Dixon's already in the Petronas squad in Moto2. Yeah, he's not had the best of seasons. He's had a lot of bad luck and stuff like that. But, give him a try. See what happens. Obviously, there's Top Rack from World Superbikes. We know he's an absolute demon on the brakes. So, it would be good to see him in MotoGP. And then, of course, there's Raul Fernandez in Moto2, who is under contract for KTM. He's planning on staying in Moto2 for next season, regardless of whether he wins the championship or not. But Yamaha could potentially buy out his contract and move him up to MotoGP next season. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. At time of recording, obviously, there's been no announcement of what's actually happening in terms of riders for Yamaha. It's going to be a weird few weeks. I'm sure Yamaha are scratching their heads, but desperately trying to find someone to fill those seats. And obviously there's Dovizioso, which I haven't even mentioned. His plan was to race for Aprilia next season. Now, if Vinales goes over there, and obviously they keep Alicia Spargaro, then there won't be a place for Dovi at Aprilia. He's ridden for Yamaha before. Would Yamaha look at him, or would they want someone younger? So yeah, there are a lot of riders about. I know that obviously if they did get rid of Alicia Spargaro, I don't think he would be overly happy. I think he might still be under contract actually for next season. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. It's silly season has already kicked off. So we don't really know what's happening at the moment. But as soon as we get some news, I'll let you guys know. I know most of you guys will know already. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So Maverick Vinales will be leaving Yamaha at the end of 2021, and looking very likely he's going to go to Aprilia. And the other thing is, Andrea Iannone, he was planning to come back to Aprilia as well, after his ban. That's not happening. I can't see him coming back into MotoGP now. I just can't see it. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Don't forget to stay safe, wash your hands, and look after yourselves. I'll see you guys next time. See you.